Hi people, welcome to Kat's Intuition. I am excited about today's video. It's probably going to be a long one, so I'm going to try and go through the decks as quickly as possible and not get stuck on any one for too long. I do want to quickly introduce what this video is going to be. It is going to be the decks that I like to pull in for what I call the darker months, the darker season that we're entering into, being fall moving into winter. Now, I live in Florida, and Florida doesn't really like to participate in the seasons. We go from hot, 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 hot to, oh my goodness, is it getting cold? Because it'll go into like the mid 50s, and no, psych, it isn't. For instance, Halloween that just passed, it was hot. We had to remove items, layers of our costume. It was hot. So I really love pulling in the darker vibe decks to kind of live vicariously through them, right? Try to pretend like it is changing outside. All of our trees are still lush and vibrant and green, and grass is still growing. You know, it's just not feeling like fall. So again, you will see the idea and the essence and the vibe that I put into the idea of fall moving into winter. You'll see that essence of that reflected in this deck collection that I'm showing you now. So yes, this is in no particular order. I am just going to grab and go. And again, this isn't a cozy fall deck collection I'm showing you here. These are decks that I honestly feel are great for that dark, moody overall vibe, as I just mentioned. So I obviously had to put the Darkwood Tarot on this list. It is one of my absolute favorites. Now this one, as you see, it has that dark, moody vibe to it. So while this is not a cozy fall vibe, it is, however, great at pulling in that dark nature, fall, transitioning vibe, right? This to me feels like a cold deck. As you see, we have pumpkins here. We have leaves falling off of the trees, beautiful skeleton trees here, snowy scenes. That's what I love. My daughter found this big, huge, I don't even know what it is. It's some kind of dead plant thing. I don't know. It looks like what are those? Pine cone. It looks like a pine cone, but like a skeleton, and I have it out front and I keep it and I call it my pine cone skeleton because to me that is just what it looks like. Anyways, I got sidetracked there. So yes, this is great. Again, not for like cozy fall, but for that darker, moodier vibe where you just want to look within or get to the bottom of things, maybe do that hard inner work, anything like that. Or, you know, just the aesthetics of it. I think that this deck is perfect for that, and that is the Darkwood Tarot. Okay, next up on the list, I'm going to go ahead and get this one out of the way. I know I talk about it a lot. It is the Tarot of the Cat People, my very first deck ever. I don't see this as a dark deck, but I can see how this would be great to pull in, like I said, the moodiness of this season. And also, many of the characters here are in long robes that just look very warm, right? Maybe not the hermit, but many of them are, and they're wrapped up and they're in their caves, and it just feels like a warm deck to me. This feels like wanting to go within, wanting to find warmth, that happiness in home, all of that. And also the colors are very dark, even though there's lots of blues and greens and purples, pinks even. It just to me feels perfect for, like I said, pulling in that darkness, getting into that vibe, into that state of mind. And yes, so to me, this deck is perfect, obviously, for anytime, all the time. It's magnificent, the Tarot of the Cat People. Another one that I feel would be great for this time of year would be the Goliath Tarot. Now, this one obviously is very dark aesthetically. It has those black and white cards. It also comes with a little oracle deck that I really like. It has some tarot mixed in. I had done a reading with it recently. So I think that that's really cool. It comes with its own little Oracle deck. I did recently hear that El Goliath is coming out with a mini version of this. This original size is sold out or out of print, but like I said, the mini is coming out. So now back to this one. There's so much going on in the imagery, and it is, as I said, dark aesthetically, but it feels deep. It feels like that moodiness. It feels like that introspection, that whole vibe again that I was talking about, that is so important when I want to pull in a deck that's going to give me the essence of fall and winter and, again, just those quote unquote darker months, right? So yes, I think that this one, if you have it, would be a great option to pull in to this time of year for your readings, and that is the El Goliath Tarot. Next up, I have Tarot Vintage. Now, I never owned a Rider-Waite deck until this one because I just didn't like the coloration of this deck. It just never called to me. Like I said, Tarot of the Cat People was my first deck ever. But this, and you will see it's still in order, I keep it in order because I like to use this one as a side-by-side comparison to other decks to show how far from original imagery a certain deck is, or how close, like if it's a Rider-Waite clone, you know, things of that nature. But I think that if you are one that really does like the original Rider-Waite deck, but you want it to feel less vibrant with all those yellows and things, and colors and things and colors, that this would be a great option for you to pull in if you want just a more muted color palette. And I do feel it helps pull in that moodiness, you know, toning down all those yellow shades and things like that. And so yes, so this is great, I think, to pull in. And I really do like the backs. Lots of muted colors. That is Tarot Vintage. Next up, we have Remembering the Fool Tarot. I think we can all agree that this is a great one to pull in during this time if we are wanting to pull in that essence of the dark seasons. This is so very different. It is such a unique deck, and I really treasure it. The imagery does not follow the typical imagery. So while I don't feel like it would be great for an absolute beginner, I do feel that sitting with the images and things, you can definitely pull out the meaning. So yes, minimal color palette here. Definitely pulling in that moodiness with all the darkness and the imagery, and it just feels like a dying off of a certain era, right? It feels to me like a transition, like we're closing one door and definitely moving here with the Chariot. Perfect timing with this card. Feels like we're moving into a new space, finding our spark in this darkness, deciding where we want to go and finding that new balance in life so that we can make that ultimate transition. And wow, these cards just popped up perfectly as I was talking through that. So this was Remembering the Sweet Fool Tarot. Next up, the Tildwick Tarot. Ooh, my. This is one of my favorites. It's such a luxe deck. I love the cardstock that this is on. It's that swishy sound of cardstock. Now, this one definitely feels like a deck that you are coming into yourself to. You know, you really want to get to the bottom of things. You are not wanting to look to others for advice. You're not wanting to go to family right now, friends. You're not wanting to talk it out. You just want to sit quietly with your thoughts and work through whatever it is you want to work through. It doesn't even have to be bad. You just really want time to yourself. You don't want just all that outside noise, right? You're kind of like in your hermit era, right? Or in a hermit type moment. I really think that this deck is perfect for that, as well as pulling in the essence, as I was talking about, of that transition into fall and into the colder months coming. It's so deep and dark This is the 10th anniversary edition, so coloration will be a bit different if you have any of the other editions. But yes, don't you agree? This is just like almost like looking into the past or really sitting in that silence. I love that this deck doesn't have people in it, doesn't even have animals. It's just the structure. It's you. You are the structure. You're looking within every room but of yourself, right? That's what I get from this deck. This is like soul searching. This is you not lying to yourself about things. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. This deck can definitely take you deep if that's the kind of work that you're looking to do. And this is the Tildwick Tarot. Next, the Hush Tarot. This has to be on the list, right? Okay, this card, I have to say right off the bat, it drives me crazy. It looks like Phoebe from Friends. I don't like drawings that look like real people. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but yeah. I have a whole deep dive going into this deck and how it just sparks my imagination, and I see this whole storyline come to life. I don't see this as a fae deck. I know a lot of people see it as a fae deck, a fairy deck. To me, these are toys come to life. This from this artist, this estranged man from his family. Yeah, if you're interested, you can go watch that, and I go on and on about the whole storyline that this deck sparked in my mind. But this one, it just feels broken, but you would think you would want to run away from something like that. So yes, I know I probably sound extra dark, but I really, really like it. This one I think also goes hand in hand perfectly with the Tildwick Tarot. While the Tildwick Tarot is showing you more of the structures and the building and the room of the old manor, this one is showing you more into the life of the person that lived in the Tildwick mansion, right? That's, again, these two decks really spark all this creativity in my mind. Yes, so that is the Hush Tarot. Okay, next, Midnight Magic, a tarot of mushrooms. Ooh, I really like this one. And mushrooms, of course, are... Oops, I was going to show you the backs. Mushrooms are great for this time of year. It's that beauty that comes out of decay, right? That growth that is immediately sparked from a dying log, or you walk outside and it's not just death anymore, it's beautiful mushrooms growing, and there are so many of these. They are fascinating, the way they communicate, the way the trees root into their underground system of communication and connection is absolutely fascinating. If you don't already know about that, is definitely worth looking into, I think. But the aesthetic of this, of course, with its black backgrounds and deep muted colors and just mushrooms themselves, I really think that this is a perfect go-to to pull in the moodiness of this season. Do you guys know about the zombie fungus? Oh my goodness, it's so sad. It's so awful. Anyways, so this was the Midnight Magic Tarot of Mushrooms. And keeping on theme with the Mushroom Tarot, we have the Mushroom Spirit Oracle. I love the deep green on these backs. So beautiful. I love this olive green edging. Ooh, so pretty. Now, these are not as dark aesthetically as the Mushroom Tarot was or is, but just the mushrooms alone, again, I feel is perfect for pulling in the essence, the vibe, the mood of the season. So good. Not a lot going on, so this is great for those who like a more minimalistic design. Gets straight to the point. It gives you the name of the mushroom and keywords at the bottom. So yes, I thought that this one was absolutely perfect. Love the backs. This is the Mushroom Spirit Oracle. Staying with oracles, I feel like the Universal Folk Oracle is a great one. Love that purple. Now, this one does have a lot of blooms. It does have a lot of foliage and growth. So could it be a spring deck? Most definitely. I feel like this is representing fall in Florida. We still have so much growth going on. We take advantage of any day that has a little bit of chill to it. Like even a hint, we're like, oh, let me go get my coat. And then you have to take it off 5 minutes later because you're like, yeah, no, not cold. But as you see, the aesthetic of this is nice for pulling in that darker vibe. You have the dark nighttime backdrops to it. The colors are very muted. And again, we're looking at decks that are pulling in that essence just to give you that feel, that vibe, right? So I really do think that this is a great one if you have it to pull in for moving into the darker seasons, and that is the Universal Folk Oracle. Let's look at a funky one, shall we? This is the Magical Forest. I always forget the name of this tarot. I don't know why. Now this one is going to be on the brighter side, but because of the weird nature and the muted colors, I guess, even though we do have those bright pinks as this card and the yellows, it just has this moody darkness to it that, yes, I definitely think would be perfect for pulling in the vibe that we're going for, moving into these darker months. Don't you think? They also, just the overall weird vibe of these animals with their big eyes, I absolutely love it. I don't find it creepy. I know it is found creepy by many. To me, it's humorous. It's funny. It's comical. I like their crazy little selves. I think this is a funny little world that they live in. That cat is kind of creepy though, the shape of its arm, and yeah. But it's funny to me. It makes me laugh. It brings me joy. I really like it, and I think that it would be perfect for this time. And I do like the backs. The backs are rather dark. I don't feel they match the vibe of the deck for some reason. I never have. Let me know your thoughts on that. Yes, and that is the Tarot of the Magical Forest. Up next, we have the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. Now, this one also, the backs scream Christmas time to me. I just think holly. I think, yeah, it just, especially with the green and the red and the cream borders, it just really feels Christmassy to me. But anyways, okay, so this deck also, it has many colors going on, but as you see, it is very dark in nature. Obviously, the drawings are very moody. So yes, I feel like this does a great job at pulling in that moody vibe, right? That looking within, or when I say looking within, I don't just mean only specifically that. I mean like solitary, right? Coming within as in getting away from the outside noises, really just wanting to do your own thing, that me time, that whole vibe right there. That is what I think that this deck does a great job at accomplishing. Yeah, because look, so many cold images I feel as well. And that is the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. All right, let's look at another oracle deck. I really love this box. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there's two others in this line, Herbiary. We have the one with the crystals and the bestiary, the one with the animals. This is my favorite. I love it. It's perfect. I've seen the others in person and I'm just not drawn to it as I am to these. There, I wanted to show you that shine on this. Oof, it's so good. Love this box. It's good. That's what this is. This is Now, while we are going to see lots of plants and it's very lush, it is perfect, in my opinion, for pulling in that whole vibe I've already repeated myself on 100 times, right? These cards are beautiful. They have like this, they're matte cards, but yet they have like this sheen to them, and it makes the colors pop, and it's like, it's mouth-watering good. It's just good. The card stock is really nice. It's good. But for me also, this has a quiet vibe to me. Even though the cards are quite busy in imagery, as you can see here, it's quiet though. it quiets my mind. And so therefore I feel it would be great as a standalone or to accompany any of the tarot decks that you are pulling in, wanting to obtain that quiet, moody inner dive that you may be going on, right? This is, oh, it's so good. It's so good. The colors, the artwork. He's a little goofy looking, but yes, look. Oh, I love this one so much. We are one. Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could just sit here and flip through every single card. It's so good. It's so pretty. The quality is, it's just so nice. I feel like this is definitely an underrated deck. So, yes, this is one of my absolute favorites, and this is the Herbiary Oracle. Up next, could we do this list without the Crow Tarot? I don't think so. Love this deck. Ooh, now this one, you may think, okay, so what? It's just crows. Ooh, no. It's not just another like animal deck. Even though there aren't many animals, it's crows, right? But it takes you deep. This one is such a reliable deck. This one I immediately bonded with in such a beautiful way. This is definitely one that I would never get rid of, and it's just good. I had seen it for a long time and never really put serious thought into purchasing it. I don't know. Even though I love crows, love them. They are one of my most favorite birds. I have a small murder out here where I live. I hear them every day, all day. It's beautiful. They're so huge and healthy. My mother purchased this for me, and I was so happy when she did. I was so happy to get to experience this deck in person and work with it. And once I did, oof, it just instantly, it's not one of those that you buy and just admire the images or the pictures and it kind of goes on your shelf and you forget about it. No, for me, this is one that is in rotation. It's perfect. It's great as a workhorse deck and a personal deck. You can do daily draws, you can do in-depth readings. It just really is a great versatile deck, and I think because of the colors and this type of filter that she puts over her work, that textury type vibe, it gives it a collage feel, but also like I was saying, because of the colors and things, I do think it could go with many different oracles and maybe even side by side certain other tarot decks. And yeah, and so also I do feel that look at this moon card, it's so good. I do feel like this feels like a cold deck to me, so again, it's perfect for trying to live vicariously through the decks, right? And try to feel like, oh yeah, it's a cold night and here it's probably snowing. At least that's what I want to believe, because I don't get that here in Florida. So yes, this I think is a perfect one to pull in for this season, and that is the Crow Tarot. Speaking of the Crow Tarot, let's talk about the Urban Crow Oracle. Obviously, we have to have this one on the list, right? I really enjoy the backs of these better than the backs on the Crow Tarot. Just so pretty. This one obviously goes hand in hand with that tarot deck, and also does a great job at pulling in that mood, that vibe, that essence that I am wanting right now. See, we have rainy, we have cold, we have dark, we have dreary, and to me, dreary is not bad. Give me cold, give me dreary, give me windy. I'm the happiest. The happiest. Look, that is, yes, see? Even all this rain, it's play. It's not, oh no, run, take shelter. It's play. So it's perfect. And I really do love this white crow card with anomaly. I am Hispanic and I have red hair. I am like an anomaly. I don't know. I just kind of see myself in that card and I love it because I really hated my hair and my appearance so very much when I was younger. I wanted jet black hair like my mom and like my aunt and my Nina and my grandmother. And, I did not like or appreciate how different I looked, but then I found the beauty in it in my late teen years. And I would never want to change my red hair now, right? It's what makes me me. It's what makes me my own unique person, and I love it. So anyways, tangent. I was supposed to be staying on track and focusing. This was the Urban Crow Oracle. The Ethereal deck. Now, I really like this one. I like the moodiness. I like the vibe. I like the backs. I like the foiled edges. And I like the shape. This is a long, let me see. This is a standard tarot. And as you can see, it is quite longer. It's pretty much the same width as a tarot deck, but I mean a standard card, but because it is so long, or so much longer than a standard tarot, oh my goodness words, I'm so sorry, it makes it feel like it's skinnier, even though it isn't. So anyways, yes, this deck is AI, but I really like the decks that this artist puts out. It's perfect for moodiness, right? Pulling in that whole unearthing the unknown type vibe, that quieting yourself, getting rid of outside distractions, only worrying about you, looking within, all of that. This is perfect for that. We have that stripping away of the old, that decay, that wanting to transition and move into something new. So that is definitely why this one had to make the list. Not only that, the overall aesthetic of this deck is quite dark. You have, even though we have blues here, they're very dark, very deep blues. We have that black border on top of our deep golden border. It's really, really good. Look at that. Look at that moody water. Oh, it's so pretty. Yes, so I think, oh, look at that Three of Swords. Three of Swords is one of my most favorite cards to look at in a deck. Oh, I love the classic Three Swords and the Heart. It's so perfect in my opinion. Okay, so that was the Ethereal Tarot. Next up, we have this deck that I never know the name to. Every time I show it off, I'm just like, it just says tarot. I don't know. This was a gift from my mother one Christmas. I love the gold foiling. Is it picking it up? Yep, there it is. Love the gold foiling on this deck. Now, this one, it's not necessarily moody art, but it's that dark black aesthetic. It's just black, just gold. That's it. This is mouth-wateringly good cardstock. It is matte with the absolute best rose petal finish. It doesn't clump together when you shuffle it. It is, like I said, it makes my mouth water. It's that good, and I love the feel of it. I don't like to touch a lot of things, but this deck, oh, I could sit there and just pet it. Am I weird? I guess so. But yes, so if you're looking for a deck that is just very minimalistic in color, and it can't get any minimal than this, right? It's just black, not even black and white. It's black with that gold foiling. And so, yes, it's perfect, in my opinion, yet again, for this time of year. I love all that gold. Can you tell my Taurus heart likes blingy things? So many of my decks that I just gush about have the foiled edges or foiling on them. All right, so this is just, I don't know, tarot. I don't know. Speaking of a deck that makes my Taurus heart happy, look at this box. Oh my goodness, this is one that I wanted for a while. Oh my gosh, I was so happy to have received this deck. This is the Baroque Tarot. We have those beautiful deep gold foiled edges, foiled gold backs. Love it. Okay, this is a dream deck to me. I have a collection or a video coming out of all of my decks that I consider to be dream decks. This is definitely a dreamy world for me. Ever since I was little, I have only had nightmares. So I'm going to try to tell the story quickly. Only nightmares. Like, I would tell my mother, and she was just always like, oh my God, Krystal, like, what in the world? Craziness, right? Well, I got into a really bad car accident, and I had a severe concussion, and I wasn't sleeping. The doctor said I was getting like very light sleep. I wasn't actually sleeping, not healing, not all that, right? So he put me on some medication that he said, now I have to warn you, this medication is known to cause nightmares. And I was like, yeah, Don't worry about that with me. That's all I have. He probably just thought, yeah, whatever. But I wasn't worried about it. Oh my goodness, that medicine actually took my nightmares away. And it was the weirdest thing because within my dream, I remember this one specifically. I was outside and airplanes went by, and I remember having the instinct to run and hide and get away from the airplanes because in any other dream, right, in nightmare, they were probably like bombing me or spraying blood all over me or just like anything horrible that you could think of that could happen in a nightmare, right? But then nothing bad happened. And in the dream, so crazy to me, in the dream, I was thinking about my other nightmare dreams and comparing it to this one and thinking, whoa, that's crazy. Nothing bad is happening. I remember that, and I always think that it's just crazy that I was thinking about other dreams within a dream and noticing that, whoa, what's going on? This is weird. And so one might think that maybe I was relieved to have a break from my nightmares, and had I not experienced that break, I probably would agree. I'd probably be like, yeah, I think a break from nightmares would be nice. Just give me normal dreams. But actually, no. The anticipation of the norm for me was a lot to take on. I don't know. I actually missed my nightmares, and I suppose it's because that's all I had ever known. So the weirdness of the absence of my nightmares was a very strange experience for me, and I actually was relieved when I could finally go off of that medication and my normal nightmares were back. Again, do I sound weird and crazy? I'm thinking so. Maybe I should just show the decks silently because the more I talk, I think I sound crazy. Anyways, yes, look at this. Love it. I didn't even say that even the titles are gold foiled. Lux is this deck, and I freaking love it. It's so beautiful. It's so dark. It's so moody. It's perfect for this. And that was the beautiful, gorgeous Lux Baroque Tarot. Up next, let's look at... I love the color of this wrap. I usually don't like a lot of color. I like just give me black and I'm good, but no, it's this deep dark blue. Anyway, so this is the Krystal Kat's Tarot. Ooh, this one is absolutely perfect for this time of year. It is deep and dark in color, and it just really does feel to me also like looking within, coming within, leaving the outside. Does that make sense? Just away, getting away. And as you see here, the colors, did I already say this? I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. The colors are deep and dark and moody. And yes, you're going to have some bright cards here, like with the sun. Love all the sunflowers in this card. That's also something that I talk about in other videos. I did not like sunflowers for the longest time, but now I learned facts about them, and oh my goodness, I absolutely love them. They are the best flowers. Okay, so see here we have actual snow. It just to me feels fall. All the plants have not died yet. We still have lushness going on, but we're starting to transition into it because this deck feels cold to me. And this could be also a Florida type deck, right? This could be Florida's fall, where things are still bloomed and doesn't look like cold is coming anytime soon, even though we are in November here and it is not cold, as in at all. December is next month, and it is not cold at all. Yes, so this was the Krystal Kat's Tarot. All right, on the theme of cats, or staying on that theme, here we have the Haunted Cat Tarot. This is a new edition, well, new-ish, I suppose I can say. My mother surprised me with this deck. Oh my gosh, look at the backs. That purple and blue, and I love it. Okay, this most definitely screams moody, and I love it. I'm sorry, my voice is leaving me. Okay, so another thing that I really love about this deck is that it isn't just a cat deck. They are all black cats. They're different types. Like we have Maine Coons in here. We have short-haired, long-hair black cats. We have the stereotypical lanky ones. We have the big, thick, broody ones. We have the long hair. So it's so good. The couple, it's a couple that worked on this deck, I believe. Yes, I said that so sure of myself. Now I'm questioning myself. No, yes, it's a couple. They did say that they got inspiration of cats that they actually knew in life. So whether it be their cats or friends and family, things of that nature. So yes, and we have little kittens and older cats and pretty rough looking cats. It's this also, like I was talking about the Crow Tarot, this is one that really does go deep. You may at first glance be like, ugh, it's just a cat tarot. Whatever. No! Don't dismiss it. It's so good. And as you can see, aesthetic alone, it's so dark. Look at him. Oh, I love this one. He just looks like he's beginning to stand taller and taller and really come into that proudness, and he's ready to take on anything. I love it so much. I love it. I love it. The suits are renamed, and look at him. This is perfect. I want a black Maine Coon cat. I've had a Maine Coon before. He was gray and white, and oh my gosh, he was my baby. He was so loving. I loved him so much. Black cats have a very special place in my heart. I've mentioned that before, but yes, this one is, see, I'm taking too long. I'm taking too long on this one. I could just look at it forever. So this is perfect for bringing in those moody, dark vibes. That is the Haunted Cat Tarot. Okay, let's look at an oracle. This one I love. This is one of the earlier oracle decks that I brought into my tarot library. This is Journey of a Lonely Soul. This one also sparks a lot for me, like imagination-wise. Look at those backs. I really love it. This, I think, goes perfect with the Hush and with the Tildwick Tarot. It just feels like this, for me, it's one person, and it's like she's passed on and she's going through all of these areas of life, reliving certain things, and we get these old picture frames, and it just, that is what puts me in the mood of like the Tildwick and that whole vibe. But yes, and I just feel like she's lost, and she hasn't found whatever it is she was looking for in her living years, and she's still just wandering, and oh, it's good. But yeah, so see, it feels cold, right? It feels like a transition into the dark months, and so I feel like this one is absolutely perfect to put with a numerous array of tarot decks and oracle, even to pull in this moody vibe. And this is Journey of a Lonely Soul. Okay, let's talk Tarot Nuage. So I have done an unboxing or a walkthrough of this deck before on my channel, and this is one that is, I would say, dark in aesthetic, dark art, and in color. I do like the shape of it. It's also a bit taller than a standard tarot deck, so it gives it that like skinnier feel to me. But this deck I spoke about being a deck that I can come to no matter what state of mind or emotional state I'm in. Meaning, like, even if I'm stressed, I'll come to this deck to do a reading. Even if I'm mad, angry, upset, like whatever it is. I don't like to do that. I like to be very clear-headed when I do a reading. Of course, I would never do a reading in that state for any of my clients, but even personal, I don't like to come to the tarot when I am in an, I don't want to say over the top, but you know what I mean. Say something just fresh just happened and you're feeling all of that right then and there. I like to cool off and be more level-headed, right? So you can really tap into your intuition and not be fueled by the immediate emotions or thoughts going on. But with this deck, I do. This is my deck that I have deemed free to do that with. And I go into depth with that in the video where I go into this deck. So yeah, as you can see, it is very dark, very different in nature. It's very unique with these creatures and this art style. I think this would be perfect to pull in for this season or anytime you just want to let yourself get dark with it, you know? So that is the Tarot Nuage. Okay, so this one I keep meaning to do a walkthrough on the channel and I keep forgetting. This is Between Worlds. Now there is another oracle deck that I really love. It's called Between the Worlds. Why they'd want to name it so close to another one, I don't know, but this is Between Worlds. This is AI art, comes with a guidebook and a flip out thing. I really like the way they lay everything out. I like the backs, very simple, but I like it. It's good. This one is very dark aesthetically, as you can see with the very dark backgrounds. You just have one keyword at the bottom, which is nice. This is AI art. I think, did I say that already? Yes. The artist really talks a lot about it. I followed them on social, and I don't know, I liked what the creator had to say. I liked how much they showed off the cards, and it just felt right. It felt good. So I gave it a chance, and I really am glad that I did. You know, my Tarot of the Cat People deck that I have, I don't pair anything with it. That's just the deck that I read with alone. I've never really wanted to pair anything with it. Whenever I laid this one out, I was like, I could possibly pair this one with that. Just based on the texture of this art here and the texture that the artist of Tarot of the Cat People did. Oh my gosh, she did that by hand, and she stippled all of those little cards. Like, I cannot even imagine the time and the work and the dedication that went into creating her artwork. But it's got the same color palette, right? The cards with the Tarot of the Cat People. And so, yeah, that's why I think that it could possibly go well together. So this was Between Worlds Oracle deck. I just think because of its darkness, it lends itself nicely to that moodiness of the season, and you know, a lot of egg imagery, right? So kind of makes me think like towards rebirth and like the phoenix and things like that. And it really has nice cardstock, very swishy as well. So yes, that was Between Worlds Oracle. Another oracle is the Fairies Oracle. Now, it comes in one of these fold out type boxes. Not really my favorite, but the cards are nice and deep and dark. I like how the borders kind of go together, even when they're in different colors. But yes, so this is just a very playful deck. It's could be great for spring, of course, but for me it feels like, again, that transition into fall, not into spring. I really like this one. So as you see, the artwork itself is dark in nature. The colors, it's good. That one's crazy. Call it crying out. You would not want to go to that. Can you see the face? Like, no. That's why you don't go out to anything you hear calling you at night. Okay, so this was the Fairies Oracle. Okay, now let's talk the Gustave Doré Tarot. Now, this one, obviously, I love the bags. I love this artwork. I also have something that I've really been wanting to talk about on the channel that goes along with this deck, and I just haven't been able to get into it, unfortunately. But this one, as you see, it has that moody, and we have the angels and the demons and the limited color palette, and it just feels harsh. It feels strict. It feels moody, and I love this man's artwork. It's good. It's deep, right? And that's what this deck feels like to me. It feels deep. It feels otherworldly. It feels like you need to hush and listen whenever this deck tells you something. At least that's how I have it in my head with this deck. That's what the artwork does for me. So yes, that is the Gustave Doré Tarot. Okay, next we have the Dragon Tarot. Now, I have spoke before about how the Tarot of the Cat People was my very first deck ever, and I said that back then it was the only deck that I read with, and it was, but I allowed myself 3 other decks. I had this one, the Dragon Tarot. I never see this one around. I see other Dragon Tarots, but not this one, Dragon Tarot. I got this one, the Fantastical Tarot, and the Sweet Twilight Tarot. I had those 3, but I never read with them. I just had them there as like an appreciation of them. I really liked looking through them, but again, I was very loyal to my one deck. All of that to say that this was one of them. I've had this one for a very long time. Looking at it now is like looking at it for the first time almost. It really has been a long time since I even pulled this one out. I believe this is the first time I even show it on the channel, which is kind of crazy, but as you see, while it is dragons, I used to really, really like dragons back in the day. I still like them, but I liked them even more back then. But what I liked about this one is they're not cutesy dragons, right? They're not cutely drawn. They're more serious drawn dragons, and I like all the detail, like how naturey it feels, and the colors are very deep and dark, so that is why I decided to break this deck out and show it off, and I think it would be really great to pull in the moodiness that is this season. And I wanted to show you where I keep this deck, where she has lived since I first brought her in, and that is this big, oh goodness, can you see it? It is this dragon box, and I love it because this big dragon wraps around the top, and this other one down here on the side wraps around the side and the back, and it's like they're guarding the deck. They're guarding their dragon deck, and I mean, it is so detailed, this box, and I was so freaking happy that it was big enough to fit them, even with room to spare, and it's lined with felt so they don't get damaged. And yeah, I just love it so much, and it's made to look like a little treasure box. I was so happy. This, I mean, can you imagine? This makes my heart happy now, but as a teen, oh yeah. Okay, moving on. This is the Black Tarot, not to be confused with my beloved True Black. No. Now, this one to me feels so water. This feels like a water deck to me. Love that it's got those matte black edges. This cardstock is perfect. They did a great job on this. This feels like an indie deck to me. But yeah, it's a mass market deck put out by Debray, and look at this. Overall aesthetic immediately shouts to darkness, that dark season, that moving into this just you era, right? You don't want to think about other things, other people. You just want to pull into yourself right now. You want that solitary time to really pull into your thoughts and find that inner balance, and it's perfect. Like you want to indulge yourself right now. That's what this deck is. It's like, feel your feels. It's okay. Feel it all. And here's the Hermit. It's good. It's perfect for this dark time. This deck is perfect for any time. But as you see, I really, I have a lot of decks to show off during the times of like Halloween or dark aesthetic type decks, because that is my own personal aesthetic anyways. I just like the darker side, so that's why I have so many to show. I really had to tone it down. I'm like, oh, you can't show everything, Krystal. This is just too much. So yes, and that reminds me, I need to move on. But yeah, if you have this one, I definitely think that this would be a great one to pull in. That is the Black Tarot. Next up, completely leaning in the other direction of the Black Tarot, we have the Enchanted Garden. Now, while this does say garden, this deck just feels dark to me. I don't like the backs. I will just say it. I don't care for the backs. But this feels winter to me. So the name garden for me in the title, Enchanted Garden, just puts me in a spring summer vibe. Like I want to see lots of green hedges and beautifully bloomed flowers. But when you go through this, that's just not what I see. We have these great borders that, by the way, they do line up really nicely. See? Not only do they line up down the center, but they also line up at the bottom. Just a little thing. Just a little detail. I like when artists put time and add little details like that. It's just fun, even if you don't see it all the time. But anyways, even though we have a lot of colors going on here, these unique creatures are just moody for me. And this feels cold. Again, with all of their overly done attire and robes, it feels cold. It feels like we're bundled up. And with the gray, even though we have colors, it's a very gray deck, right? And that to me just helps pull in, love that, helps pull in the dark essence, the dark vibe, even though there's actually a lot of pinks in this deck. Hot pinks, light pinks, a lot of color, but still winter. See here with our tree, it's not all covered in leaves and things. That's odd. Oh, why is that in there? Here it looks like it's raining. It's just, yes, this is rainy, wintry, and all of that to me. I don't really see it as like this lush, happy garden. as the title makes me think. So yeah, that was the Tarot of the Enchanted Garden. Another one here is Persephone's Garden, again with a garden. Now, this one I think is absolutely perfect. I mean, come on. Persephone for this dark time. Yes. Look at the backs. Very pretty. Now, this is a curated deck, but it is very dark in imagery. I also think that this is one that I will pull out for readings in the February for Valentine's. I love Valentine's Day. A day to celebrate love. Yes, please. I love these deep, dark reds. This deck is, I think, mainly because of the aesthetics, like the colors and the time period where this art is, it lends itself so beautifully to that moody essence. Oh, please ignore that thumbs down or thumbs up thing. So yeah, that is why I included that one or this one in this list, because to me it does help pull in that darkness. And this was the Tarot of Persephone's Garden. Okay, I know. This is a lot. This was probably too much. I have a lot. It's just once I got to really thinking about it, I'm like, oh my God, but all my decks are like this dark vibe. But of course they are, Krystal, because, you know, that's what I like. Next up, we have the Seed and Sickle Oracle. Now, I really love this one. This was also one of the earlier Oracle decks. And why I say earlier is because, again, for so long I was only reading with one deck. That also means I wasn't pulling in Oracle and things of that nature. So yeah, this was maybe the second Oracle deck I got. The first being my Tarot of, my Misfit. Sorry, my voice is going. My Mystic Misfits Oracle. I really like that one. I've shown that one many times. Here are the backs. I love that orangey color that we get from the back. Now, these, while they are still very lush, this could actually be another Florida winter, right? Another Florida fall. We have cards in here. You may hear my cats in the background. They're getting kind of riled up. The sun is going down. That means the moon will soon be here, and that's when they get crazy. So we do have a lot of pinks and things here, but for me, it's the vibe that this deck gives, and this deck offers a moody type, deep, different, not so frou-frou, happy feeling deck. Let me know your thoughts on this deck. For me, that's what this offers, and I think that that's why I was able to fall in love with it so much and as quickly as I did, because for me this is a whole mood. I don't know, like this right here screams winter. This is coming into the fall months. Look, the colors, it's really perfect to me. This deck takes you deep. Now, this is a great one that helps you just pull into your intuition. There are no keywords on this deck. It is just like the name of the plant or the fruit that you're seeing on the card. Look at this one. I mean, yes, how perfect is that? Deep, deep, dark colors. Look at that red in there. This one is so good. I've been in love since I brought this into my tarot library. Loved it, loved it, loved it. That's my kitten getting very nosy as to what I'm doing. We have a rescue, or I rescued her from a dumpster. I think I've spoken about her before. Her name is Huntress. And yeah, you might hear her. She like purr meows to herself as she does her own little thing. She's adventuring right now. Okay, so this was the Seed and Sickle Oracle. Okay, keeping with the whole Liminal 11 decks, here we have the Citadel Oracle. These boxes are just so cool and so very detailed. And these are strong magnets, so you can pick it up from the top, and they don't come open. Anyways, love the very different shape to these cards. So cool. These are very unique. These follow a very strict color palette as well, as you can see here. I love the foiling that we can see throughout the cards. This one also is very, you know, the word strict keeps coming to mind, and I don't know why strict, but it's like deep, I guess is what I mean, but for some reason it's strict. When you want to just hush things, I feel like this deck, even though there's a lot of details in the line art going on, I still feel like this lends itself very well to doing just that, quieting everything else and really zoning in. This is a zero in, come within, really get focused type deck for me, and I love it for that. Look how beautiful. The line art and the foiling throughout is superb. So yes, I love it. I think it offers the perfect amount of moodiness and strictness, if you will. if you will, to a reading, and that is the Citadel Oracle. Here's another one that was pretty much love at first sight. This is the Tarot of Sacred Kingdoms. I have done a full walkthrough of this one on my channel. This was gifted to me. Look at these matte black edges. Love, 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 love. It also has this bluish foiling. You probably can't see it, but around the border and the titles. Okay, so I turned on a little bit more light. I don't know if that helps or doesn't help, but so this deck is also very, very dark aesthetically. I feel like that light is washing it out. Ugh, I don't know, I'm having light issues. This one is very dark aesthetically. It does come with 2 extra cards. This one was love at first sight as well. I think I already said that. I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself now. I was playing with light, so I got distracted. This deck went right to work immediately, not just for personal pulls, but for clients as well. And it's so good. This one will take you deep. It's straight to the point. It's not going to be overly chatty to where you have to pull so many cards to get to it. It tells you like it is. Your intuition can really thrive with this deck, I believe, because for instance, here we have the 3 of Wands, and it's not like you aren't seeing 3 wands in the picture. Here we have the 9 of Pentacles. It's just very different. Here's the 5 of Swords. So you don't actually see 5 swords. It's not a pip deck, but it doesn't follow typical imagery either. It's very unique, and it does its own thing, and I really love that. Here's the 7 of Pentacles. So yeah, this deck for me was just wow right off the bat. I usually don't like realistically drawn people in my decks, but this one was the exception to the rule. It's perfect. It'll take you deep. It's moody all on its own, even aesthetic wise. So that is why it was included in this list, and that is the Tarot of Sacred Kingdoms. All right, next up we have Under the Oak Tarot. Now this one I have also shown and gone in depth with on the channel before. I included this one because this pulls in that vibe of coming within, looking within, going on a personal journey, hushing everything, getting to the bottom of things, focusing in, only looking at what is important. And we have a lot of snowy scenes too. But like I said, this is like looking at just what is important. What is really important to you? Are you not liking the way things are going? Do you want to try to change it? This deck is going to help you sit down and hush everything around you and zero in on, as I said, what is really important to you right now, what you're really wanting to look at. So I think that this one does a great job at that. And I think that that goes perfect in this time of season. It has these really pretty silver foiled edges. So that was Under the Oak Tarot. Okay, so yes, that was our last one. That was so many. Oh my goodness. You know what I should do if I didn't want to show so many decks? Do like happy colorful decks, because I would probably have like 2 to show. But because I really love the darker feel and the darker side of things, I have so many freaking dark decks to show. Okay, but yes, I really do feel like out of all of the other dark decks that I have, that these specifically are perfect for, like I said, pulling in that essence, that vibe, to look within, to quiet everything out, to help you focus, or just to, in my case, live vicariously through them and pretend like I'm getting to experience the darker season and cold weather outside, even though I'm not. Okay, please let me know your thoughts on these decks. What is your go-to deck for moving into the dark season? I would love to know. Until next time, nothing but love. Bye.